Channel 5, KTLA, Los Angeles.
Yes.
You've told us a lot of the problems. Can you give us some good tips on what we can do to help the men around us to express their feelings?
Right, I think that's a really important issue, and I feel very strongly that the best way a woman can help a man, so to speak, is to work on her own growth. I feel that the old-time role of the woman helping man, you know, in many ways replays the mother thing. But work on your own growth. It'll create a crisis in the relationship. It'll force your husband to change. And unfortunately, most people don't change unless they get really anxious or placed in a crisis.
I'm going to move across the front. And also trying to get rid of words like, as you point out in the book,
Sexist words of masculine intimidation.
Don't let your husband use words like coward.
There are certain words what I call words of sexist masculine intimidation. For example, and I have very strong feelings that the words of sexual diagnostic meaning, such as impotence and premature ejaculation, they're words of masculine intimidation. They don't serve any useful purpose. They reinforce the notion that men are supposed to perform at a certain level. They prevent a man from getting in touch with what his body message is, the fact that he's not a sexual machine, and that if he's alive, his sexual response is always going to be different.
Is the caller there?
Yes, I am.
You've had a brief comment.
Oh, I hope so. I got a bunch, but here goes. In the early 70s, excuse me, I have a bad throat. In the early 70s, I married a lady that had several kids, and she had her own business. So I played a reverse role. I was with the kids all day, things of that sort, trying to raise the kids. But there was a big conflict because she was a very dominant person because she had to take care of herself and the kids for years prior to that. And there was a breakdown in communication as to how to handle the kids and so forth and so on.
All right. And can you get to it? What's your question?
Well, my question is that I was a very dominant personality and a very strong athlete and a very smart individual in school and things of that sort. What happened was that my friends kept saying that Phil, that's my name, that you kept becoming effeminate.
Yeah.
And as a result, after about 5 years, it was total catastrophe for me, especially when the economy went bad and her business went bad.
Right.
I felt guilty. I was not working. I wasn't helping out with the money, and that was thrown back in my face.
So what happened to the marriage?
Divorce.
Look at this, just to see that next graphic. Can you see your TV set?
Yes, I can.
I just want to show you something here. During a recession, business cycles, male suicide increases 9.5% per year, while the female rate increases 2.9. Men are what they do.
Men are what they do, exactly. And a man who is unemployed is invisible in many ways.
Definitely, I agree.
A man who is, a man's sexiness is very much attached to how much power and money he has. The difference between an elderly swinger and a dirty old man is that the elderly swinger probably lives in an expensive condominium and has a big income, and the dirty old man lives on Social Security.
I don't know what the difference is there. That didn't apply to me at all either way.
Well, you know, I just have a question for you. Why would you allow your friends to be so, you know, who cares what they say?
Oh, I didn't care.
Well, you must have, because...
Well, it probably triggered his own self-doubt, you know.
Yeah, hang on a minute.
Very
You want to talk to him?
stuff.
I almost forgot the question, Mr. Goldberg. I love your book, and it's exciting just to be alive. But what actually do you do to...
Wait a minute, I got a guy on the phone here who's looking for some advice. Hang on, I just don't want to appear to ignore him.
No.
I mean, we both care about him, right?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, he was certainly ahead of his time. It's a very hazardous business for a man to just give up everything in the world and stay at home. I mean, you need a tremendously powerful ego, and I'm not really suggesting that we need to do all or nothing types of situations. The point is, in days to come, one is that there'll be a fluidity, that you'll be able to do all of those things. You'll be able to work some, you'll be able to be at home some. I'm also hoping the day will come when relationships won't be mired. You know, today a lot of liberation means equal drudgery for all. And I'd like to see a day when liberation means that people, male and female, come together to be playmates, to be companions, to be lovers, to be friends, and not simply to focus on negative issues like who's going to wash the dishes and who's going to go to work.
Now, that sounds very good, and I don't want to tie you up, but...
No, did you get married?
Pardon?
Have you remarried?
No, sir, I haven't. I really have not.
All right. Look, I know you have more questions. Will you forgive me for... I've got other folks here who want to chat.
Most definitely.
You sound like you're okay, huh? We don't have to worry about you.
Put it this way, I'm trying to relax and enjoy life, and I'm finding other things that...
Yeah. Are you working?
No, sir, I'm not. I'm looking, though.
Okay. How do you feel about the fact that you're unemployed?
Very bad, very bad.
Yeah, that's legal, isn't it?
Sure. Well, he really has no identity. You have very little. Very few men have enough of a sense of self that they can feel good about themselves if they don't say, "I do so and so."
Yeah.
If it wasn't for, excuse me, I don't mean to tie you up, but if it wasn't for the good friends that I do have,
Yeah.
I guarantee you I might be jumping in front of an L train.
Let me add one point too, and women need to become aware of how you reinforce that, because when a woman finds out that a man is unemployed, and she's single, she frequently turns off.
Yeah.
And I think women have to be, a man's job is equivalent to a woman's body. Women used to complain about being sex objects. Men only looked at their bodies. Well, men are, in a sense, success objects. Women look at what they do. So if men are going to stop looking at a woman's body, women are going to have to stop looking at what men do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the second thing you told your mother, isn't it? I mean, you told her his name, and then you told her what he did.
What he does, right. Whether he was a good catch or not.
Right. And listen, mothers have had that about sons and what they do. Did you ever hear the story about the woman in panic running across the beach screaming, "My son, the lawyer, is drowning"? We've got to leave. We'll be back in just a moment.